Welcome to Mike&Jytte.
Today we're going to talk about a subject that can create some confusion when men and women communicate together. So let me give you an example of a story that I could tell you. So I would say to you, by the way, yesterday I talked to Susanne. You know, the one I worked with together with Christina and Mette. Mette, her daughter, by the way, got this great job in Singapore. She's going to be there for 3 years. It's great. She's going to use the education that she worked so hard for. But she said, and at this point, I might assume that you're a bit of doubt who I'm talking about.
I have no idea who said what.
But I was telling about Susanne that I met the other day.
Yeah. This is an issue that women oftentimes have all kinds of different insertions, commas in their discussions. So men prefer to talk about one thing at a time. And they're pretty good at that. But they're not really very good at least I'm not very good at, following 15 different diversions and finally coming back to the main point, which I have lost for a long time ago.
But the stories are so much more fun when you have everything included in it.
Well, if you call a man's being confused as fun, then it maybe is fun.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think men just get confused. And I think another thing that happens there then too, they just lose interest. They have no idea what is going on or who said what to whom.
You might go a bit blank when I mention the third or fourth name. Yeah. Then okay, what is she on about?
I'm getting that misty look in my eye.
and then I think, aren't you interested in my story? That could be my interpretation, actually.
Well, I am interested in the story, actually, but the question is, what story?
All of them. But I'm aware of this. So when I communicate with, especially in business environment, when I communicate with men, I try to stick at one subject at a time. But if I change, I do this, and then I say, actually, I'll just change to another subject. And then we talk about this, and then I say, okay, let's go back to where we were before. So actually that's showing respect for another way of listening and another way of communicating.
I think women are very good at sending messages. Many of us have had, at any rate. And we're also very good at following a one-line discussion. But oftentimes when you get too many things going at once, we lose focus. Yeah. I once had a philosophy professor. He was a man, by the way. And this guy, he started a sentence, and by the time he finished all the insertions, you didn't know what in the world this guy was talking about.
And maybe he didn't know himself.
He lost the point. So it isn't only women that do this, but it's a kind of indirect female kind of communication. So some men do it too. I know of a couple that it's very difficult to follow them. And then I think I, at any rate, start to lose interest because I can't follow them.
And I oftentimes hear myself say, oh, where was I? Or what was the question? Or because I tend to. Yeah. So the message here for women is, if they want to be understood better, or if they want people to listen, or men to listen to them, is to stick at one subject at a time and tell if you change the subject. And what can men do here?
Yeah, well, I think men can oftentimes ask, where are we? Be very careful, however, to say what is the relevance of that, because then you start
that would not be good.
No, then you start to get offensive, and that's not right. But sometimes we want to be clear and say, okay, how does this relate to what you said before, this kind of thing. So we can be a bit more patient, and again, ask what we want. Say, would you please stick to the point, or would you please maintain one line?
It might be a bit sensitive in terms of how to say it in a good way. But I mean, think about it and be aware again of your preferences. How is your communication style?
And another thing you could do, by the way, men, is when you hear this happening, just sit back, relax, and smile. She'll come back to the main point eventually.
That works privately, but not in business environment.
No, it doesn't.
No. Okay.
So thank you for today.
Thank you.